Okay, my name is Robert Smith. I'm the lead singer, vocalist for Dark Soul.
My name is Sean Mhula. I'm the lead guitar player for Dark Soul.
Perry Smith, drummer, Dark Soul.
I'm Charles Becker. I am the bass player for Dark Soul.
I guess I got started in music when I was young, 10 years old or so. My aunt got me Led Zeppelin 2 and Kiss Alive 2 and became a metal fan from there. You just progressed into that. Always loved the harder stuff, getting into that. It progressed into that. Played a little bit of guitar. Fiddled with it. I wouldn't say I played. Fiddled with it in high school. Had friends that had bands, neighborhood bands. Sang with them a couple of times. But other than that, just always been a big fan, Never really dreamed of or had aspirations to do this, because I got married young. And I don't know, after my dad passed away in '08, and then my brother, who's always been in bands since, God, as long as I can remember, being a big fan of his, and seeing these guys, he asked me if I wanted to try to sing, and I was, because I was always a closet singer, one of those guys that just sing in the shower or downstairs, listen to his jams. And then after Dad, and then my brother-in-law a year after that died when he was 50. It gave me the philosophy, why not? People always say you only die once, or you only live once. That's not true. You only die once. You got to live every day, and so it helped me break out of my shell. The Thompson House downstairs and on the big stage. That was it. But it was like, what? I dedicated that song before we came over here. I was thinking about it. I dedicated that song. I came over, talked to my brother, to my dad. This is for Pop. He heard my brother. He never heard me. I was into other things. My dad was always my ball coach and stuff like that. So for me to share that experience with my brother, and then these guys, who I call my brothers, was pretty cool. I got a big welcome from a lot of people, and had a positive experience. And it was like a surreal calm. It was. I was expecting to be nervous, but it really wasn't. It wasn't 100% perfect, but it was good. It was that rush. It was my first taste of doing something that was pretty cool, that these guys have experienced for years. You can have the best music in the world, but if you don't have anybody out there repping you and selling you and being visible, David Lee Roth, for example, made an ass out of himself for the, because it sells. Whatever he puts out there, it sells, because he's got that ecstatic and that electric personality. And so, early on, being the front man of the band, got to be the face of the band. So, but, I try to pull from, their voices and their techniques. I try to listen how they pattern, their songs, when they emphasize different things, try to change it up. I try not to be the same cookie cutter every time. A lot of it sounds different. But it's cool because with us, the first couple songs, the first couple albums, it's stuff that these guys did, back in '98 and 2000, 2001. So it's, me trying to put my voice to what used to be death metal. And but I think you really hear me, and you really hear us, the four of us, in the stuff that we write now, the Zig Heil, the Exposed, now the Resurrection. I think you really start to see where we're going to take off and take this, because it sounds amazing. And, the people that I looked up to, there's influences in there, stage presence, what they try to do to bring the crowd in.
When I was a kid, had big older cousins that were listening to Kiss, Iron Maiden, Ted Nugent. even Foghat, you know, I thought was pretty awesome. I mean, that's not really hard metal, but it just, I've always liked, you know, the guitar players, you know, nice solos, and I was a kid, and then my first record I bought was Alice Cooper, you know, and then from there went from there, you know, got Kiss, kept going Kiss. My first concert was Kiss, actually, when I was 10 years old. At 10 years old, Kiss, you know, so. And my favorite guitar player was Ace Frehley. So right then, I was like, when I grow up, or if I ever get a guitar, that's what I want to be. It's like him. So as time ventured on, you know, my mother got me a guitar. I was like 15. So, and after that, like about 6 months later, I was already playing a cover band at 15 and a half. So on the stage at 16. So of course we just learned playing covers. You know, I didn't really know anything about doing my original stuff yet, but you know, it was just fun getting in front of the crowd. You know, getting up on stage there and I'm screaming and yelling for you. You know, and I loved it. You know, that's why a lot of people get in this is, you know, you love the people screaming at you and loving what you do. You know, and that's what I always loved. You know, so that's where I'm at right now. But I kind of had a little drawback because I went to the Air Force when I was 19. You know, I took about 8 years in the military. So that kind of put me 8 years behind, because if I would have not even did that, you know, there's no telling where I would have been at this point, you know. But I'm glad where it took me, because I'm with these guys right here. You know, I like this band to, you know, become national, you know, and, you know, even overseas, you know, that'd be really nice, you know. But of course, you know, we all got families and kids, and, you know, if someone wants to do that for us, it's got to be, you know, a pretty good contract or something.
Right.
You know, it can't be just you guys go tour it and hope you make some money. I can't. I gotta support a family. Yeah. So I would like us to go to the top, man. I mean, who wouldn't want to? You know, that's everybody's dream, I'm sure. You know.
Hell, got into music long time ago, beating on pots and pans and Tupperware in the kitchen, and then after that, when I think I was 12 years old, found some drum pieces in the garbage and pulled them out and started putting them all together, and eventually back in I think I got my first set at 13 or something. My cousin got a set and brought it over, and I played on that. I mean, you wouldn't even call me a drummer back then when I was already in a band. So, and we're learning just easy stuff like Judas Priest, Living After Midnight, AC/DC, you know, just easy stuff. I just kept at it, and I'm pretty much at where I'm at today, I guess. When I first started out, I'm the type of person that loves attention. You know, I like to laugh. I like to make people laugh, regardless of if it's shock value or if it's just naturally funny. Getting on stage for the first time, I really don't notice anybody out there, even when I still play today. I kind of look out, I see people, but I pay attention to what's going on and what I'm playing, you know. That's why I don't do a whole lot of tricks, just because I'd rather have the music to be correct, straight, forward, rather than to, you know, do a bunch of fancy shit and mess it all up. And that's what I like about it. It's just, I like to be tight, you know, and in that pocket, you know, doing what you love. Yeah, I remember as a kid jumping on my bed, listening to Kiss, and I jump off like a rock star off stage, you know, to do a little move, and my hand goes through the fish aquarium. Still got the scar, and and I'm still jamming out. Didn't even know it was cut. So I'd love this to go, you know, to go somewhere. I would really love it. That's been my dream. I've spent my whole, you know, life savings on it. So I would really want it to go somewhere. So, but even if it doesn't, I still want to play. So, I mean, I do it because I love to play. I've always loved to play. I've never made money at it. But if it goes somewhere, I'm full steam ahead, so.
I came from a divorced family. My parents got divorced when I was 10. It pretty much pissed me off. I hated the world. And I started hanging out with the wrong people. Well, actually, they turned out to be the right people because they played. And I watched them play for so long. I showed up one day with a guitar and amp and said, "Hey, can I play with you guys?" And they was like, "You don't know how to play?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." And plugged in, I played their songs with them. Opened Kiss Alive 2 when I was a kid, and I was like, that's what I want to do right there. I want to be in the middle of all that fire in front of all them people and have all them girls. That was what I wanted. That's why I wanted to play. And, Kiss and Wasp and Slayer, probably my top 3 bands. I started out playing guitar, and then the bands I was in, we couldn't find a bass player, so I started playing bass. And I've been playing bass now for probably 20 years, at least.
Yeah. Damn good bass player, too.
I taught myself how to play that, too. The first time I played out was actually at the Southgate House, live on the WAIF radio station with Missing Since Monday. I played guitar. At that time, we had a bass player. And I was scared to death. There was probably 100 people out there. I was scared to death, but I went out there and did it. And after about the first 10 seconds, I was fine. And I love it ever since. I love playing in front of people. That's why I do it. I'd like to make money, but if I don't, no big deal. I love to play music. That's why I play. I would love to take this to the next level, but if not, we'll still be here doing it. My goal is just to keep playing music because I love playing music, and if it goes to the next level, then I'm there.
Yeah.
But if it don't, I got a job, so I can do it. As we do it, and if it takes off, it takes off. I want it to, but if not, I won't be heartbroken.
We are Dark Soul, guys. Love you.
In 1997, Sean, he said about his friend that lived up here, worked at the paper mill with me, and she got him a job down at the paper mill. And one day I'm walking through and I hear some guitars, and I open up this door. It was like the old shipping office, but people kind of made it a lounge. And he's in there jamming with some other dudes with guitars. I'm like, oh, cool, man. Yeah. I mean, they're in there ripping it. And I'm like, wow, hell yeah, man. That's cool as shit. And I was like, man, my brother's a drummer. He plays in a band called Shattered Sanity. And I said, why don't you guys hook up?
He called me up. Was looking for a band. And I said, sure, come on over. And I had a band going, original band, Shattered Sanity. He come over and he auditioned for it.
We're like, yeah, you're in. Yeah, you want to be in it? And I said, yeah. I went to a couple practices, and it was boring. The riffs that the other guy was making, they were just
poppy riffs.
They weren't what I wanted to do. They were just, I didn't like it. I mean, his solos were amazing. I loved when he went to solos. It was awesome. And I was like, I get to do it for a little bit. Went to the practice, and then I said, okay, well, I want to start writing some stuff. I said, I want to do some of my riffs. He can solo to that, I mean, because he's a great solo player. Well, I started doing my stuff, and it was just too heavy, he'd go into it, we'd start jamming, it was real heavy, and the singer would chime in and do some death vocals just to make fun of it because it was real heavy stuff,
Yeah.
Well, that's what I want to do, is the heavy metal stuff, real hard stuff.
So we were just jamming, taking a break, and he started jamming on a death riff, and I just started going into it, and I wore a Britney Spears mic, and I started singing death, and so he started jamming, we kind of clicked.
And after that one practice, I was like, man, I'd rather just go on my own, and do something else, and write my heavy stuff, and so I quit the band.
Probably maybe 6 months later or something, called me up and said he was starting something new. Went over there. It was me, him, and Ryan Hammond. And so we started Dark Soul up right then and there. And then after that, some drama and some yak and some bullshit. Took about a year hiatus. Got back together. It was just me and him again. And then went through many players for a while. And it was still death. Went to Oklahoma, played down there. Played Chicago, a few other places, all over Dayton, I think Columbus. And then Sean, we both kind of got a little tired of it. And Sean went back home to Oklahoma for 3 years. I went down there for his wedding. Seen his guitar had an inch of fucking dust on it. Lit a fire under his ass, and he came back like 3 months later, and then we started all back up.
We added a few players here and there, and then him did get along with some of the other players, and then it was kind of like a vote thing, you know.
Well, plus we
so,
were also jumping in and out of other bands too, because like every band that he would go in and play, I would end up in, or vice versa. I would play in a different band too, and then he would. So we were in and out a bunch of different bands, and but Dark Soul always kept going.
But yeah,
always.
we had different players, you know. We fired him once, you know, which is a sad thing for me. I didn't want to do it, you know, but we did, and he hated me for a while, you know, and then, but he knew I'd come back. He knew it, you know, because we had these other players come up, and I fucking blew up on them guys, and I just stopped the band. Y'all get out. I fired them all, you know. They get the hell out, you know. And so I was sitting with Dark Soul by myself, you know, and I said, who's always been the one, you know, that to go to is this guy.
Always there.
So, you know, and he actually, you know, I apologized and kissed his butt for a while, you know. Probably took me a good week kissing his ass, you know. And once we had us two, you know, back, and you know, and we had other players, but none of them match up to what this is. Right
Yeah,
now.
we never had the
None
right
of them.
chemistry.
None of them.
I think that's why it kept going through players, is we never had the
Yeah.
right chemistry for it.
So now we got it, you know.
The paths we take are the paths we take, and you know,
It all led here, so it's all
amen,
good.
man. I mean, my experience has brought me to where I am. Your experience has brought you to where you are. So, you know, the culmination of everybody's experiences together is what makes us so special, I think, because everything that we do together, you know, none of the old stuff. The old stuff, well, I think we make the old stuff better, but I think the stuff that we create together is the best.
Now that we got him singing, and he's a metal singer, he's not death metal, and you know we got Charlie, he's a badass bass player.
Oh yeah,
You
man.
know, and he puts a great show on, you know, constantly, and you know, and it's I think it's now it's coming together.
I love the theatric part of it more, or just as much as the singing part of it, and you know, wanting people to hear that song, and just. But it's such a rush, man. It is. It's a, you know, and I find it. I'm cool with it. Like we got some shows coming up this week and a few next month, and you know, I feel like the closer they get to the shows, you know, I kind of get a little butterflyish in there, you know, like thinking about it, stuff like that, and then. But the day of the show, I mean, it's calm, you know, getting ready, preparing myself, and doing the things I do, and then. But once I step on stage, it's. You know, it's time. It's it's time to go to work. It's time to hit the clock. You know,
They were going through all kinds of, you know, different bass players, and when I come over for regular practice, I'd have to hear about all these guys that were horrible and were doing great, and they just quit coming over. And he was just like, "Come and join the dark side. Come and join the dark side." Perry just kept saying that over and over, and then finally I did, and here we are a year later. Our 1 year anniversary with Bobby doing his first show will be this Saturday.
Yep. 1 year.
1 year of Dark Soul gigs.
Yep.
And we've done quite a few gigs.
Well, everything we got as far as Dark Soul has taken, you know, almost 16 years. Is it 15, 16 years of what we got so far? And it takes a lot of time, you know. Back in our younger days, we practiced 4 or 5 times a day, 7 hours, you know, every day.
4 or 5 times a week.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. 5 times a week, and
But you got to be, you know, if you're going to be in a band, you got to be prepared to practice a lot if you want to be good.
yeah, if you want to be tight, it's something that everybody
a lot.
enjoys. You got to practice a lot, and
On a regular
typically
basis.
with good players that know what timing is. You know, and to learn timing and get on the same page as everybody, it takes a lot of it's a lot of mental anguish, because sometimes you think you're there, you go out and you play, and you're not on the same page. You know, and it's happened a few times, but you know, we've been playing so long together that we know exactly where we are at any time. It doesn't matter if we can really hear each other or not. We know our parts, so we just play them.
You know, actually, the Dark Soul album that's out getting mastered now, we had recorded it once before, but it had some problems with some of the tracks. So we just erased it and started over. You see, we can do that here. If we was at a studio, we couldn't do that because it would cost us thousands of dollars to redo it all.
Yeah, that's the only reason the album's taken so long to get out is because, like
We
you
had
said,
to redo it.
we scrapped everything, probably 8-9 months of work, just scrapped it all and then completely redid it. So,
Yeah.
but it took about 20 hours to get the drums down. And then after that, we just started putting everything together, you know, on practice days instead of showing up to, well, there was a couple of days that, like, Charlie come over, lay some tracks down, or he'd show up early for, like, Revelator practice or something and lay some tracks down and get them done. And then, you know, Bobby come up and he would do a couple tracks, you know, just to get them done, and vice versa. Then it just started to be, just to finish it up, we just schedule practice there, and we show up to practice, but it'd be no practice. We'd be mixing and finishing up the tracks and everything like that. So it didn't really take too long. I'd say a few months is what it took to get everything out.
You know, going and seeing a band, they don't realize how much time it takes to load all that stuff in. You know, you got all kind of friends, but when it comes time to move the equipment, everybody gone.
Well, not to mention the time that you have to show up.
And the gas, money to get to the gigs. I mean, it takes a lot to do this. You really got to love to do it.
Show's at 9, but we got to be at band practice by 5:30 to load up the gear into the van to
go sit at the bar for 5 hours before we play.
Yeah, go sit at the bar. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, you start to see familiar faces at the shows.
Yeah,
you know, you start to know
all these people that come to see you.
People that are coming from your work or your friends. You know, you start. Hey, nice to see you again. Thanks for coming out. And that's the cool part. You know, people. You know, we got guys from other, guys that we've jammed with from other bands that are coming out to see us. You know, we've had other bands tell us that, you know, out of all the bands they've ever jammed with, that we're their favorite. That is so humbling. Guess we could tell them the name of the first CD. The same as it never was.
The official release of the name.
The official release of the name. The same as it never was. All right. Do you want to know what's up with the Deep South?
Everybody keeps asking about the Deep South.
You can put, you can get the Deep South. Everybody wants to know about the Deep South.
The Deep South is a reference to one of our favorite movies, Little Nicky. We're playing the band, you know, practicing or whatever. Perry talks in some crazy voices. He does Sling Blade, does Little Nicky, and, you know, well, the song DOE, Deceiver of Evil. Well, when they first started playing that, Perry was going out with a girl named Desiree, so it kind of morphed into Desiree of Evil as a joke.
She was evil.
Yeah, well, we love you, Des, but use evil.
She was evil.
Can Sean chime in?
Can you chime in?
So Perry's with her for a period of time, breaks up with her. And we get back together, and Perry's not with anybody that's really crazy. Charlie's not with anybody crazy. My wife's sane as sane can be, and Sean's married to his wife, who's... We're just going to say that the name of the song is now referenced as Joe, not DOE. And she's from the South.
The Deep South.
She is evil.
She is evil. But when we first started playing the song, we would always say this is a tribute, or this is dedicated to Sean's wife Jessica, and Charlie would say she is evil. Perry would say she's from the Deep South. So it's kind of morphed into what we got on the CD is you hear Perry's voice say she's from the Deep South, and goes into the song. So that's how we start the song now. It kind of goes right into that. I mean, it's all in fun.
Honey, you're really not evil.
No, you're not, sweetie.
It's just a joke.
It's okay, Master.
Dark soul, guys. Love you.